All right, so having the stuff on the side helps me figure out what I'm going to talk about next, but I'm just going to wing it. Those of you who know me know that this is a passion for me. This is not a business. And rabbits need our help more than ever nowadays. They just don't get the same amount of protection as cats and dogs do. So basically, we like to call them companion rabbits because they're companions to us. And you can see from the different varieties of photos here, rabbits they come in so many different personalities, just like humans. And they're just amazing animals to add to your family. So who SaveABunny is, and Skylar told you a little bit about that, is I found a rabbit a little over 22 years ago. I had no idea about rabbits. I thought they were dumb. I grew up with a rabbit in a hutch that got killed outside. The classroom rabbit died. I really didn't know what I was doing. And I learned as I went along. And this was never meant to be as valuable as a big and valuable resource and rescue center as it's become. Since that time, we've rescued over 5,000 rabbits, and we take in the healthy and adoptable rabbits, but we also really focus on the last chance bunnies and the bunnies who are left behind after other groups or other resources come in and take who they want to take. We'll take who's left because we like the ones that are the hardest to place. They're just adorable. We work with about 35 shelters or more all over California. We try to help other rescue groups when we can. We like to partner with other groups. So anything we can do to get rabbits in the mainstream. So we partner with Jameson Humane on spay neuter. We assist Rabbit Haven with the San Jose rescues. We'll try to help Contra Costa Rabbit Rescue. We're really grassroots. We might look big, but it's just like Bunny Energy. We act big, but we're actually a local, small nonprofit. On occasion, we will take private rescues, but it's rare. We really do focus on rescue from shelters and euthanasia lists. We are very well known for being bunny bonding experts because I do a lot of animal communication type of work. And the way that we work on rescue and on bonding is really from an emotional as well as spiritual point of view, that these beings have a spiritual process and an emotional life just like we do. So finding the right match for them, letting them pick their own friend is just as important as allowing a human to fall in love with another human. So that's the goal, is that let them find their true love. And then as a part of that, adopting the right rabbit to the right home provides a true unconditional love for both the human and the rabbit. So we look at adoptions and rescues from a very multifaceted point of view. And that's pretty much what's very unique about our group. We also work a lot with rescuing laboratory rabbits. They are legal rescues. We again partner with groups like Beagle Freedom Project and some other groups to get these animals released from the lab so that they can come and get spayed and neutered and placed up for adoption. And most of these bunnies have never been out of a cage this size. That's their entire life. We were finally able to go back and get this bunny who had been there for 3 years. And so he got adopted, which is great. Okay. This is Love Dove. She came in looking like this to one of the shelters. She got adopted, found an amazing home. And this is Bob. He's one of my little boys from the Late Bloomer Club. He passed away a little while ago, but I love that little man. Okay, so
I think your slides are a bit stuck. We're still on the home slide.
Oh, I don't know why. I'm back on the other one. So how do I get back? Let's see. All right, so you're not on this?
Yeah, no, we just see the home slide, but if you click escape, I think what happened was that it kind of glitched whenever you click the play button.
Okay.
Now we can see your slides.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just keep it that way since it seems the play button doesn't want to work. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Okay. All right, so you can see again, you can just go over and see what I just talked about. These are examples of bunnies who have been rescued through our group and have since found homes. This little bunny up here was a baby from the Napa County rescue. We ended up taking in over 23 rabbits from that rescue. This is a little sweet potato for whoever followed us on Facebook. She has found a loving home. Okay, so what are companion rabbits? I actually like to say who and not what, because they're a member of the family. They're just like a cat or a dog. A lot of times people think they're rodents and they're not. They're what's called a lagomorph. And in that category are rabbits, hares, and pikas. Sometimes the airlines and places like that won't let rabbits inside because they think that they're rodents. And that's just not true. They are not nocturnal. They are what's called crepuscular, which means they're active morning and evening. So like deer, it's a typical prey animal sort of behavior. Many people are not aware that they are as sensitive and intelligent as cats and dogs. Those of us who live with rabbits know how opinionated they can be, and that's why they're so fabulous. They can learn to use a litter box, especially if they're spayed and neutered. They learn their names, they can be clicker trained, and they have very unique personalities, just like humans do. And again, our focus is on the chemistry between people and the bunnies. Bunnies will bond for life with their people and with their mates. You can see in the bottom left corner, this is a bunny being a therapy bunny. This was a rabbit on the euthanasia list from a shelter who went on to become a therapy bunny, making many, many people very happy. And here's a cute video for you from one of our adopters. All right. For those of you who do not know what a binky is, those of us who do, you're going to love this video, but binkies are happy dances. These are what bunnies do when they're super happy. And you can see why bunnies should have a lot of space to run around and why they should be able to pick their own friends. You can see she's looking at him like, you are such a doofus, but super, super cute. He came to us from a shelter in Bakersfield, and she, the Californian on the right, was a rescued meat rabbit from a meat farm. Basic way to really understand rabbits is that they're prey animals. And so they're hardwired to be spooked and to run and to think that their life is in danger every moment. They're hardwired just to run and escape. So you can tell a prey animal by the location of his or her eyes. Even though I'm vegan, I am still a predator to these rabbits because my eyes face forward. So I do the predator stare, and rabbits have their eyes on the side of their head so that they can see around them versus forward. So they have blind spots right here, which is another reason why you don't want to put your hand right in front of a rabbit's mouth. People are predators, especially little kids. Little kids are rowdy little predators. Dogs and cats are predators, but they can all coexist in the right home when you do it with supervision. You just have to remember the rabbit's safety is the priority. They are fragile. You have to supervise. Respecting your bunny's boundaries is important. They're very good communicators, so they will tell you when they've had enough. They don't give you a whole lot of warning, but they will let you know before they lunge or bite at you. So you just have to learn to listen to their language. And you always want to approach and handle them with very clear intention and gently. And you'd want someone to do the same for you, I'm sure. These are older pictures of mine from my household of Hector Gonzalez over there on the left with Marvin cats, and then Ben the dog with a baby bunny that came in. And Ben, even though he's a hunter breed, I rescued him. He was the lowest on the totem pole in terms of the household. So you want to make sure that you also keep cat food and dog food away from rabbits. They will eat anything. They cannot vomit. They don't have the right digestive enzymes for carnivorous food. You have to just protect against them getting themselves into trouble. Same thing with open cat and dog doors, as well as letting in potential diseases from raccoons or mosquitoes. So just if you're going to have a multi-species household, I'm happy to answer questions. You can always email us. The bunny's safety is always the priority. So what I do is I usually have the dog behind the X pen and let the bunny choose whether or not he or she wants to go up, rather than having a predator focusing on the prey animal. So is a companion rabbit right for you? Indoor homes only. And that is for both their health, their safety. Indoor rabbits tend to live 3 times as long as an outdoor hutch rabbit. And living outdoors is sad for a social animal like a bunny. We also require that we have an adult caregiver. You might want to negotiate with your 6-year-old that he or she is in charge of the bunny, but that really just means that one of the parents has to actually really commit to this. It's too much to ask a child, even a teenager, to be the primary caregiver. If something goes wrong, which it almost always does, because rabbits are fragile. So if something goes wrong, you need somebody who is able to do critical thinking, act quickly, has a car key, and has a credit card to get the bunny to the vet as soon as possible. It's really traumatic to leave the responsibility up to a child because they just aren't in a position to really be able to help. Rabbits are expensive to live with. You can get insurance. Nationwide insurance is helpful, but rabbit care is expensive. You also want to have respect for rabbit behavior. So you can, if you look at the bottom left picture, I'm pretty sure you can tell who's in charge in that photo. That's Matzo Ball with Tommy. And Matzo Ball is definitely the leader in that photo. Our webmaster Lisa's in the upper right. We had a bunny yoga day. And then the photo below is what you will frequently see when you reach down to try to pick up your rabbit. It's like, no, I don't think so. So living with a bunny means respecting that as prey animals, they really prefer not to be picked up. They might want to sit on the sofa with you, but holding a rabbit is against their nature. And the more you can do things they like, the more they will stay around you and hang out with you. So that's super important when kids are involved, to make sure they understand that sitting on the floor with the bunny and being at the bunny's own level is the way to get a bunny to love you. All right, so what type of rabbit is best? And this is a topic very close to my heart, because we really discourage people from picking a bunny based on breed. There's a lot of super bad information out there on Google about which breeds are the nicest and which breeds are the healthiest. There's a myth out there that Holland Lops are the nicest, and I can tell you from experience that one of the bitiest, crankiest, meanest rabbits I ever met was the most adorable Holland Lop. So, but that's okay. I worked with her. She just had a lot to say, and that was fine. She just wasn't a good adoption candidate for a lot of people. As you can see, there's all different types, male or female, purebred, mixed breed, lop, there's so many different things. Females in general, and this is a very, very big generality, females tend to be sassier than the neutered boys. Not always. They can also be super nurturing, but the girls are funny. And so anybody who has any familiarity with horses and rabbits are very similar in their behavior, in their diet, in their health issues. So the mare, there's a boss mare in every herd. That boss mare rules the roost. And so a lot of times female bunnies are like that in their home. And so having a good sense of humor is great. Also, female bunnies, in our experience, tend to be very flirty with men. So just saying. Purebred or mixed breed. Mixed breeds tend to be healthier because of genetic diversity. Genetic diversity goes a long, long way. Breeders often breed for the look of the rabbit. And you might have some beautiful looking bunnies, but they are going to likely have health and behavior issues. The mixed breeds, they get a little bit from everybody, and they just tend to be healthier. Rabbits as prey animals should have uppy ears, not lop ears. Lop ears would be a defect in rabbits normally, because as prey animals, they have to be able to hear. That's one of their primary senses. It's not their eyesight, it's their hearing. They have to be able to hear, and they can hear all the way around them. Plus, when the ears are up, they have peripheral vision, which they also need. So when you flop the ears down, you take away a rabbit's ability to really be a rabbit. They can't hear, their ears don't ventilate, they can't see peripherally. They can't communicate with you as much because the ears flopping means they can't move them as much. So it's really not that fair to a rabbit. And my feeling, this is just my own personal opinion, is that one of the reasons why people like floppy ear bunnies is that they look like dogs. They look like puppies. So we encourage you to go for the uppy ear bunnies if you're really looking for the healthiest bunny possible. Also, as you can see on the top right, that is a dwarf rabbit. And he looks grumpier than he is, but he was pretty grumpy. And so small bunnies tend to be like small dogs. You know, if you go to the dog park, you're going to see the big dogs are kind of loping about, and then the little dogs are yapping and nervous. And that's, in general, what smaller rabbits can be like. And there's a myth about hand-raising rabbits. That is just, like I said, a myth. It's who they genetically are, as well as the relationship they build with you. But in general, the smaller rabbits are going to be more nervous, not as good a choice for families with kids, more sensitive. They also have other health issues that are likely when you genetically play with a bunny's head. They have to change the shape of the skull, and it compresses everything. Same thing with a lop. So the front teeth might look good, but the back teeth are what's important in terms of keeping the bunny healthy. And small rabbits and lop ear bunnies are very prone to dental infections because the teeth are smushed in there in an abnormal way. So you can see from the bottom right, that's Typhoon Tim. He has found a home, but he requires grooming every day. And if you're looking to get a long hair bunny, you need to be prepared to groom them every single day, as well as potentially shaving them down once a month as a sanitary shave. And then over on the left, you'll see a bunch of baby bunnies that look adorable, but I can tell you, trying to clean up after baby bunnies, unless you have a strong stomach, it's pretty gross. There's a lot of diarrhea everywhere. They don't use a litter box. They pee everywhere. They're super cute, but it gets old really fast, especially when you have kids that are responsible for cleaning after babies. Also, baby bunnies are really only babies until they're about 3 months old. At 3 months old, they start to become teenagers until they're a year old. And teenage rabbits are a lot like teenage humans. They're moody, they're destructive, they don't want to be with you, don't touch me. So they go through this awkward stage. And that's how a lot of bunnies end up in the shelters, because people buy them as babies and then they don't realize that you need to spay and neuter them. And that they become teenagers. So even though you spay and neuter a bunny, they're still going to go through some of the teenage times, but spaying and neutering takes care of a lot of behavioral and hormonal problems. Larger small rabbits, I already covered some of that. You can see here, this is Ting in the middle with Lady Chatterley. They were part of a late bloomers club. Ting is still with us. Rabbits don't care what the other bunny looks like. Humans might, but rabbits don't. And rabbits go by chemistry. And so you want to let your rabbit pick his or her own friend, and size or breed absolutely does not matter. So in summary, the right choice of rabbit is going to be the right rabbit for the right situation. All right, so some considerations to think about: who wants this rabbit? Is it a child? Because if it's a child, being realistic is important. And one of the things that we recommend, and I hope that you will look at our website and fill out an application, is we are in dire need of foster homes. And fostering is a great way to see if rabbits are a good fit for your family. We supply all the supplies and we work with you to match you to the right bunny. But again, when you're looking at a bunny, who is it that wants the rabbit? And does this rabbit like you? Because what we look for also is if the rabbit doesn't like you, then the rabbit doesn't have to go home with you. Rabbits do tend to pick their own people. It's really cute to watch when a rabbit who maybe hasn't liked anybody else runs over to a human and just shows how much they're in love. So we want the rabbit to be as happy as the human. Spaying and neutering, again, is important. They have an 80% chance of getting cancer by the time they're 3 or 4 if they're not fixed. We have had male bunnies come in that have testicular cancer, and we do neuter them even when they are 10 years old, and they do just fine. And lastly, we really focus on getting you to open your heart and open your mind to the ruby-eyed white bunnies. They are the sweetest bunnies typically, and the hardest to place. We're one of the only groups that actually takes a lot of them because they are hard to place. We put them into foster, and foster people almost always adopt them because they are so loving. So I'm asking you to please not use a shallow definition like a red-eyed bunny to decide if you're going to love an animal or not. Okay, so rabbit care is very expensive. The adoption and setup, meaning your supplies, will range you anywhere between $300 to $400 or more. A free rabbit that you find on Craigslist or somebody giving away is going to cost you anywhere, and this is an older slide, anywhere usually between $400 to $900 to get fixed. Whereas shelters like Roanoke Park, San Francisco Animal Care and Control, Sonoma Humane, Sonoma County, these places, your bunny will already be fixed and likely already vaccinated against RHDV. Same thing with the rescues. And so I've been asked to put in a plug for some of the rescues that are really overcrowded right now. A lot of us are very overwhelmed by the number of rabbits needing help, and there's very few resources and places for them to go. So I'm putting in a plug for the Rabbit Haven, for FUR, Friends of Unwanted Rabbits, for Contra Costa Rabbit Rescue, as well as for SaveABunny. Everybody needs your help. When you help one group, you help everybody. Yearly food and supplies and an annual well bunny visit is going to be anywhere between $600 to $800. Boarding, it depends on what you want for boarding. We do basic boarding, we do luxury boarding. We do, when you adopt a bunny from here and you want bunny bonding, that's included. You'll board while they're bonding. And then emergency vet treatments and care can run between $500 to $1,500 a day. And so preparing for rabbit expenses is critical, critical, critical. All right, proper housing, indoors only. And the pen should be at least 12 to 16 square feet. You don't want a bunny in a tiny cage. It's like sticking a dog in a doghouse outside and never letting the dog out. It's just not fair. You have to be careful to bunny-proof your wires and your plants. They can't tell what's poisonous and what's not, so they will get into stuff. We had a sad story from somebody's, and I only share these when I know they're absolutely true. Very experienced bunny person lost their bunny, young rabbit they adopted from here. And when they did a necropsy, an autopsy on the bunny, they found a gray waxy substance in her intestine. And what had happened was the bunny jumped from the floor. It's not this bunny, by the way, but the bunny jumped from the floor to a chair, onto a table, chewed on a candle. The candle wax melted in her intestines and blocked her intestines and killed her. So you have to think about bunnies as perpetual 2-year-olds that are always going to get themselves in trouble. You can't get to them fast enough to stop them from getting into trouble. You can read through the rest of it. You'll be able to see that there's some litters that are good and some litters that aren't. A lot of the housing and setup for bunnies is following the lists that are given to you by the proper sources. House Rabbit Society has great information. We have great information. Avoid Google. That's really bad. most rescues will give you the best information. So stick with rescue information. There's good litter and bad litter that they can swallow, and it can get them very sick. So here's setting up for success. This is a time lapse from our webmaster's place. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So what you can see is there's a lot of stuff to chew on and a lot of stuff to do, a lot of space. The bunnies can come and go as they please. I just think this is adorable. It's funny as, okay, so go back to my screen. Okay, bigger is better. An X pen is the minimum size. When you look at these other not Marchara, but these small plastic bottom cages that might be okay for a guinea pig or a hamster, it's like bunny prison for a rabbit. So please don't put your bunny in that. Even for a few minutes, it's just not fair. This is a better type of setup, as well as the setup you saw with our webmaster's time lapse. Stuff for the bunnies to do, stuff for the bunnies to chew, climb. Other things, there's Binky Bunny you can buy from, and we have a resource list at the back for different places to get your toys. Napoleon Bonaparte, there's some very good sources out there. Costco for boxes is awesome. So make sure you check out the Costco boxes. More toys. Yellow pages, just take off the slick pages in the front. And they love to shred. One of the things to keep in mind also is that there's a lot of stuff at places like Cost Plus that might look like bunny toys, but they've been sprayed. And same thing with thrift stores. So buy your toys only from recommended toy sites, because you can make your rabbit really sick. This is a slide for you to look at maybe at another time. This might be a rabbit's fantasy of how much carrot they should have, but carrots are sugar. And we say, for example, carrots the size of a dime once or twice a week. This pyramid will show you they need 80% plus hay. And you can see over here, this is a malocclusion. This is what happens with a lop. He lives here with us. He's had his teeth pulled. This is Greyjoy. He's from a breeder. They were breeding for meat as well as for pets. This is the pyramid, and it's courtesy of San Diego House Rabbit Society, a list of the no-nos like chocolates and cereals. So stick with hay, and then 10 to 15% leafy veggies. And it's important to note, don't use celery. Celery can kill a rabbit, and we have heard about that happening recently. Also, different groups have different opinions about it. We tend to avoid any vegetable that causes gas in a human, just because rabbits are very prone to bloat. But some places are fine with that. We just avoid broccoli and cabbage and things like that. So check with your vet as well. Ray, one of our volunteers, is going to go over some of the basic healthcare issues that you'll need to know. This is Dr. Carolyn Harvey. As many of you know, she's an unbelievable vet for rabbits. We're very grateful for Dr. Harvey, Dr. Lumen, Dr. Neely, Dr. Skeenstra. We're very lucky in the Bay Area to have such good help, veterinary help. For grooming, Ray is going to cover a lot of this too, but you want to be able to trim the nails every 4 to 6 weeks, and the anal glands. It's not as gross as it sounds. We do grooming classes here. And the stuff that people can buy at a store, like the papaya tablets or pineapple or Laxatone, and even with like baby gas drops, they don't really work. And so it doesn't replace hay and good brushing. It's more like you're giving them a treat when you do those sorts of products. All right, I look like that picture of the Yeti running away in here. I don't know if you've ever seen that one with Bigfoot, but I'm going to show you on this video how to pick up your rabbits. And the main thing is you have to pretend that you are an expert. The rabbit's safety is critical. Do not drop this rabbit no matter what you do. If you are having problems, stay calm, bring the rabbit next to you, put their spine next to you, and drop low to the ground. Do not let them drop out of your arms. And that's another reason to be super careful when you have children who are handling rabbits.
Okay, so here's one way that we feel is one of the safest ways to pick up a rabbit. If you are right-handed, you want the bunny to be on your right side. And you want to make sure you have plenty of time to do this so you're not rushing to get the bunny onto that side. I lean over the rabbit. I put my right hand under her chest, under her bunny elbows, and I immediately scoop her up so that her hips are on my hip. And then I would hold her on her hip area to keep her tight next to me. If I never loosen the grip right here. It's as if glass to glass. To put her down, I want to keep her close to me, cover her eyes, bend down, and keep her close to me until I place her on the ground.
So I hope that helps. That's something you can always look back for. And that's the end of this, basically the end of the presentation. We, again, by the way, we're hiring. I forgot to mention that. So if you're watching this and you really want to learn about bunnies and you're looking for a potential job as an operations or assistant to the executive director or medical stuff, please let us know. We are in Mill Valley. And then we welcome you to our bunny community and are always there if you have questions. So thank you. And that was it, Skylar.
Well, thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation. I very much enjoyed the videos that you also included. It kind of gives a good representation of bunny basics. I would like to open up the floor for any questions. I'll go ahead and give everybody a couple of minutes just to put those in the chat. And then if we don't have any questions, then we'll go ahead and show some more videos. Or if you have any other comments that you would like to make, that would be great as well. You're getting lots of praise in the chat. I could see it popping up.
Good, good. Well, I wanted to make sure people know that we were, I mean, I'm just being honest here. I'm from the East Coast, so I'm honest, very honest and direct. We really need your support. We take in the sickest rabbits. It's very expensive. And everything you do, whether you board here, you adopt here, you donate, we have some merchandise here that's super cute. All of this stuff is a great way to help. And for those of you who are familiar with the Late Bloomer Club, you know about Team Ting. And we want to thank our volunteer, Tara Baxter, for creating this design for us.
Well, that's wonderful. I might have to just go and get a shirt myself. I know that also on our website, under the resources tab, we also have a link to your merchandise that I assume is still a correct link. I know they used it last year as well. So if anybody was interested in supporting SaveABunny that way and going and purchasing some merchandise, that would be a great help as well. I'll go ahead again, leave the chat open for any questions for like another minute or two, and then we'll go from there.
Now I see the chats. So I'm very grateful for this rabbit community. I just really want to make sure that everybody knows that, because the passion that people have for rabbits is the reason that many people like me do the work, is that